Okay, our objective for today is I can define key vocabulary. Your turn.
I can define key vocabulary.
And what does vocabulary mean?
Words.
Words, right? That's what we're reading in our book. All of those words, and some of those words are going to be fancy words that we just don't know yet. Or don't know how to use them in other places. So, we are going to define these key vocabulary from our story, Arrow to the Sun, by listening to the language in context. So what are we going to be doing?
Listening to the language or context.
Listening to the language in context and practicing the vocabulary orally. What else are we doing over here? We're going to practicing orally, and orally is just a fancy word for
Talking.
talking. Great job. Fancy word for talking. And we're also going to be doing it in writing. We are going to practice writing our vocabulary, and we're going to use the language wise. Your turn. Wise. Nylia. Endure.
Endure.
And rejoice.
And rejoice.
Thank you. I'm going to get this started again. So last week we read the folktale Arrow to the Sun.
Yeah.
The words wise, endure, and rejoice are in our book.
The wise arrow maker.
Oh, you remembered there was a wise arrow maker. Great job. So, let's listen to this part of the story again, and then we are going to define wise over here. Okay?
And we already put.
So, listen closely. So, in the story, the text says, and remember we want to listen to how this word is used in our story. Okay, Nylia? And in the story, it says, Arrowmaker did not answer, but because he was wise, he saw that the boy had come from the sun. So it says, because he was wise, the Arrowmaker saw that the boy came from the sun. So I am going to write wise up here on our board. I want everybody to write wise up at the top of their next blank page. In 5, 4, and if you need to, you can look up here too, Camilla, because here is wise right here. W-I-S-E. Great job, Camilla.
Wise.
2. Nylia just needs to put that E on the end. Great job. 0. That's class point. Everybody working responsibly and getting your writing done. So, wise. Because the Arrowmaker was wise, he saw that the boy came from the sun. Okay, so this word describes somebody who has a lot of knowledge. What does it mean to have a lot of knowledge?
Being very wise.
Well, being very wise, but that's,
A genius.
where is the knowledge? Is it here?
In your brain.
It's in our brain.
And
So-
technology.
Oh, and maybe it's how to use technology. That's part of having knowledge, is to know
Let's use something.
how to use something. Okay, so wise means to have
Knowledge.
a lot
And,
of
knowledge.
knowledge. And how do people get all of this knowledge into their brains?
From reading and writing.
From reading and writing.
From the internet.
How else do we get knowledge into our brains? Can we just
From the
think?
internet.
We've got to be thinking. Well, a long time ago, did they have the internet in this book?
Oh.
Arrow to the Sun?
They-
This was about a story that got passed down from generations to generations to generations. That means hundreds of years ago, people were sharing this story with each other. They didn't have the internet. So
They just wrote stories.
they had to
Make-believe stories.
they had to read stories, they had to write them, they had to have a lot of experience, right? They had to be doing these things. So knowledge, or wise, means to have a lot of knowledge and experience. Everybody write this definition down in their phonics journal. And experience, yes. So you are writing, wise, have a lot of knowledge and experience. That's what it means to be wise. Got 30 seconds, so Nylea, do you see these lines here? And do you see how I used my line? I stayed up on top of my line. Okay? So use all of your line, okay? Keep going, just make it a little smaller. So you've got about 30 more seconds to finish that. Have a lot of knowledge and experience. You see that back there, Emmanuel?
Finish. You can't finish in once. I don't know what number it's at. You can't finish at once. I can't wait for PE today.
You've got about another 5 seconds to finish this up, and then I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm going to give you some situations, okay, Emmanuel, to see if this is a wise choice. All right. So just as the arrow maker was wise because he had enough knowledge and experience to know that this boy came from the sun, I want to know, is it a wise choice to go to bed early?
Yes.
Why is it a wise choice to go to bed early? Walter, you're finished, right? And remember, we use part of our question in our answer.
It is wise to go to bed early because if you stay up too late, like to 1 o'clock in the morning, you'll get very, very tired and hungry.
Oh, and Miss Mikowski doesn't like grumpy students, does she? Oh, it makes me sad.
If I stayed up all the way to 1 o'clock.
Right,
I would
so,
just be-
Walter, great job. Walter said it is not wise, or it is wise to go to bed early, and then he gave us a reason, an example, because if you stay up too late, and then he told us what is the effect, what happens if you stay up too late. Great job, Walter. So, let me see if you can do this one. Is it wise to not do your homework?
No.
You go home and you're like, oh, I'm not going to do my
That's
homework
not
tonight. I don't need to.
That is very
wise.
wise.
It's not wise. Why is it not wise, Camilla?
Because
So it is not wise
it is not wise because
to not do your homework.
to not do your homework.
Because what happens if you don't do your homework?
you won't
Good job tracking this. You won't
what?
be able to do what?
Go work. Go work.
You won't be able to do good work. That's right.
And you'll get a good count if you don't do it.
And
Good grade.
if you don't do your work, you get clips down, right?
Or
Yeah,
good grade.
the expectation is that we do our work, we do our homework. So, good, wise choice. It is not wise to, well, I won't do my homework tonight. Let's see if you can do this one. Last one about wise. When your parents tell you to eat your vegetables, you're like, yes, I will eat my vegetables first.
I love eating my broccoli first.
Is that a wise choice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nom, nom, nom,
Follow
nom,
your
nom.
parents'
Nom, nom,
direction
nom,
and
nom, nom.
eat your
Nom,
vegetables
nom, nom, nom,
and do
nom.
it first?
Nom, 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 nom.
Well, but Miss Mikowski's asking, Nylee, is that wise to eat your vegetables? Is it a good choice to eat your vegetables? Why is it a good choice to eat your vegetables? Or a wise choice? Say, oh, it is wise to eat my vegetables because they're healthy. Awesome job. Okay, let's move on to our next word. I'm going to write endure down. Everybody's going to write endure down. If you need to go to the next page, go ahead. Endure. E-N-D-U-R-E. Endure. Everybody's got that word written down, Camilla? In their notebook. Endure. E-N-D-U-R-E. Endure. And 3. You've got it down, Camilla? 2. 1. 0. Great job, Nylia, getting that written down quickly and in time. What does it mean to endure something? Walter, let's go and put that away. We'll be using it later, okay? We'll be using it later. Okay, endure. Listen to this. So later in the book, got my eyes on you. Later in the book, the boy tells his father that I will endure these trials. Okay? When his father tells him he must go through the 4 chambers. And remember, those 4 chambers weren't just like walking through a garden or picking out candy from the store. Right? Those 4 chambers were full of what?
Lion.
Lions. What else was in the chambers?
Sea serpents.
Serpents. What else? What was the last one?
Plus these.
Something was shooting out of the sky.
Lightning!
Lightning.
What about the beetle?
And the bees. So, what
And
does it?
butterflies.
So,
They're for animals.
well, there weren't any butterflies in this book. They were bees that would sting. But the boy said, I will endure the chambers. So what do you think that means to endure? It's kind of something that we do every day too. Not as scared.
recess.
No, that's endure. This is
I will do
endure.
anything.
Oh, it means that you will do something? Okay.
Anything.
Or maybe not. But yeah, the boy said, I will do it. That's a great definition for endure. I will do it. What else do we call it? It's one of our 5 values over here at MSLA. I see the word over here on our poster, and it also means to endure. It means not to give up, to do our best.
Persevere.
Persevere. So endure means persevere. Someone who perseveres, does their best, doesn't give up. Okay? So let's write that definition down. Okay, so to persevere, do your best, and never give
Up.
up. Okay, that is to endure.
Wait,
Everybody, let's write this definition down in our book. Go, you've got 1 minute. To persevere, do your best, and
Let's go. A
never
second, Walter.
give up.
That was a second. Walter just did it in a second. Finish. Finish. Finish.
Wait, what is that letter? Space S.
Go to the next line.
Hey, there's a lot of E's in our sentence.
A lot of E's are in the word persevere. You are right. Okay, I'm looking around and I see great job. Let's do a little bit faster click. We should have had a little bit more down. Let's do great job, Walter. And Camilla was writing the entire time. Okay, well, some of our friends are still writing down the definition of persevere. I want us to think of some of examples of ways that you have persevered. What's a way that you have persevered? Thinking or thinking when you have an idea, go ahead and give me a thumbs up.
Finish.
Camilla, how have you endured something? Something that has been hard for you to do, but you did it and you didn't give up. What is something that you have endured? You can say, I endured, or something that you will.
I endured to not give up
When did you not give up?
when I was writing.
When you were writing. So you endured writing and you didn't stop until you were done. Awesome job, Camilla. Anybody else have an example of something they have endured or something that they will endure? Maybe you've got a challenge that you're doing this summer, learning something new. Emmanuel?
I'm learning karate this summer.
So you will endure karate lessons. Good, because you're probably going to have to do some new things. All right, last part that you are doing on your own, I want you to write your own definition of rejoice. Now, hold on. Before we do this, I want you to listen to how rejoice was used in the story, okay?
Finish writing down.
So rejoice. In the book, the very end, when the father found out that this was his son, that he made it through all 4 chambers, it says the father and his son rejoiced. Now you must return to earth, my son, and bring my spirit to the world of men. Once again, hold on. Once again, the boy became the arrow. When the arrow reached the earth, the boy emerged and went to the pueblo. The people celebrated his return in the dance of life. So, the father and son rejoiced. The people in the pueblo also rejoiced.
I see the sun.
There it is.
So somebody
So-
said sun.
What does it mean to rejoice? And I'm doing some of the actions of it too.
Dancing.
Dancing is part of rejoicing.
Celebrate.
Celebrate. How does Miss Mikowski rejoice?
Happy.
Rejoice.
Oh, I am so happy when I rejoice and I say,
Rejoice.
great job, good job, great job persevering, you didn't give up.
And you get angry sometimes.
Oh, I get a little frustrated sometimes. That's the opposite of rejoice. But when you do your work and you follow
You're
directions
happy.
first time, I am happy, I'm
And
rejoicing,
doesn't keep up.
I give clips up, we celebrate. So,
I wrote that.
I want you, this is what you're doing during independent work time. You're writing your definition to rejoice, and then I also want an example of when you rejoice. I rejoice when, and like for Ms. Mikowski, I rejoice when everybody does their best. Okay? I rejoice when everybody does their best. You are going to write your own sentence in your notebook. I rejoice when. That's your independent work. I'm getting on with Gael for our reading lesson. Everybody else is doing this, and then you can also do